All right, but everybody get their sheet out. Get your sheet out that from the last test that has the polyatomic ions on it. See if you can find that. I'll go get mine.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think you do because I got the homework.
You are special.
What? All right, here we go. Now, here's what I'm going to do. The more I'm thinking about this, if I can have your attention here, hang on. The more I think about this, I want you to be as successful as possible on the exam. But the exam itself is difficult because it covers an entire semester. Everybody listen. It covers the whole semester. So some of you were very successful in the last test, and I have quite a few of those on the exam. Some of you were not. So I think what I'm going to do is, even though I'm going to give you a quiz on Friday on the polyatomic ions, even though I'm going to do that, I think what I'm going to do on the exam is go ahead and still give you the polyatomic ions chart. That'll take some of the pressure off of it. You got that? And then if you can't write the formulas down, then I know there's something wrong. You got it? Okay, so this will be a small grade on Friday, but then I'll go ahead and I will include that on the exam. I'll let you have that so you don't have to have them memorized then, okay? But I think you should start memorizing though. All right, well, first thing, whenever I tell people they should memorize polyatomic ions, and I did this with you before, is for the ones that have asterisks on them, I would start with those. So it's called the famous eights. They're used a lot in chemistry. And so let's take a look over here and notice when you did your flashcards, you notice you had a lot of them that were minus ones. Weren't there a lot of them that were minus ones? How many of them were plus ones? Okay, so that one should be already done. That one should be done by now because it's the only one that's plus one, ammonium, NH4 plus one. You got that? So you kind of say to yourself, I should be able to memorize that. It's the only one that's positively charged. All right, now, how many of them are minus 3? How many are minus 3? There's only 2 of them. Okay, if I memorize that, I memorize these 2, and then I have to memorize these, and what are all the rest of them then? They're all minus 1s, aren't they? So as far as figuring out what charge they have, most of them are going to be minus 1, aren't they? That's the first thing I'm going to show you. Yes?
Do we have to know the additional ones? Do we have to know the additional ones?
Okay, yes. All right, yes and no. For the quiz, if you want to get bonus points, then you would do the additional ones. Got that? So if you come up with 20, you'll get a 20 out of 20. If you come up with 28, you'll get 8 bonus points. So yes and no. If you want bonus points, you do. If you don't, if you think you already have 20, that's up to you. All right, here we go. Good question. Now, the next thing I try to tell people is this. The ones with asterisks are called the famous eights. Now, I use this a lot in chemistry. It's called phosphate. Now, what is phosphate? It's PO4 with a -3 charge. Everybody got me? Phosphate has phosphorus in it, doesn't it? So that's why that's phosphate. Now, look what happens here. What if you take away an oxygen from PO4? It still has the same charge, but instead of calling phosphate, what's it called? I need everybody's attention, okay? Everybody up here. If phosphate's PO4, what's phosphite? PO3. But it's the same charge, isn't it? So if you memorize phosphate, you should know phosphite, shouldn't you? Now let's go over here. Let's go to this guy here, very famous, sulfate, used a lot in chemistry. It also is SO4. It has sulfur in it, doesn't it? Sulfate. But if you know sulfate, then what's sulfite going to be? I keep looking at your faces because I can't tell where you're at. If sulfate's SO4, what's sulfite? SO3. But the same charge, isn't it? I'll put a little check. I should know that one. Now, what about, let's do over here, let's go with nitrate. That's also a really famous one used in chemistry. Nitrate, instead of being NO4, though, it's NO3. NO3, isn't it? And it has a -1 charge. But if you know nitrate, what would nitrite be? Everybody see that? Okay. Now that's how I start people out a little bit. Now let's go down here, and this whole series, I learned those together. Here's the famous one called chlorate, ClO3, -1 charge. But if you know chlorate, what would chlorite be? ClO2. Okay, now watch what happens here. Take away an oxygen, chlorate becomes chlorite. Take away another oxygen, and you get, they decide not to call it chlorite. They thought that was dumb. So what did they call it? And hypo in Latin means below, less than normal. So if it's less than chlorite, if chlorite had ClO2, then this has even less oxygen than ClO. You get that? So now, if you know chlorate, you know chlorite and hypochlorite. What if I add an oxygen to chlorate? My own opinion is they should have called it hyperchlorate. What would they decide to call it? Hyper means what? More than normal. Instead of hyperchlorate, what do they call it? Perchlorate. You get it? It's almost like hyperchlorate, isn't it? Now guess how many you know already? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now I'm not saying you absolutely know them, but if you know the ones with asterisks, I can do a lot with you. Let's try another one. Chromate has chromium in it. Look at that. Chromate has chromium in it. CrO4 -2 charge. Now, we don't have a chromite. Okay. But what do you think dichromate would mean? How many chromiums do you think might be in dichromate? 2. Now, what if I were to double chromate? That'd be Cr2O8, isn't it? Double both of these, what do you get? Cr2O8. Well, that's close enough, isn't it? It's Cr2O7, isn't it? And so that kind of helps me remember it's almost like doubling both of those. And there's dichromate. This one I don't use hardly at all, so I can see that being a bonus one. I won't put it on the test, but if you want to put it on there, you'll get bonus points. You get it? Okay, this one I don't use very much at all, so I'm going to put that as bonus. I don't have a memory trick for it anyway. All right, now let me show you another neat little memory trick. Here's a neat little memory trick, and then I'll show you some games. I'll show you some games we can play. All right, now this is where you have to think, and this is where I need everybody's attention. I'm gonna have you guys probably move because you gotta focus right on me, okay? It's gotta be on me the whole day. What's the charge on phosphate? -3, isn't it? -3. Now, do you know what hydrogen's charge is? +1, isn't it? Now think about this. What if phosphate was -3 and you tacked on a hydrogen in front of it, what would that charge be? -3 plus 1, what would that be? That would be -2, wouldn't it? Now, guess what they did? There is such a thing. See this phosphate? Look over here. What do you see? They didn't call it George. What did they decide to call it? Hydrogen phosphate. What? So if I know phosphate, and that's -3, then what's hydrogen phosphate? Huh, that's -2. And then watch. They didn't call it Jerry. They put another hydrogen on there. Now what's it going to be called? Dihydrogen phosphate. Well, that was nice of them. -3, -2, -1. Now, if you want some bonus points tomorrow, I'll show you some more bonus points. Watch. What if you tack a hydrogen on the phosphate? It's not even on here. I'll give you credit for it, though. Tack a hydrogen on the phosphate. What do you get? Hydrogen phosphate. And tack another hydrogen on. What do you get? Dihydrogen phosphate. Whoa. I'm going to get 30. I'm going to get more than 30 tomorrow on Friday. Now, all I'm trying to tell you is not impossible to learn these. Watch this now. Here we go. If you know sulfate, you know sulfite. What if I were to tack a hydrogen onto SO4 -2? What would it be called? Bob? No. What did they decide to call it? Hydrogen sulfate. And what if you tack a hydrogen onto this guy? Hydrogen sulfite. I can do this. Look at carbonate. Oh, I didn't do carbonate. My fault. Carbonate has carbon in it, doesn't it? CO3. There is no carbonite, except if you watch Star Wars and Luke, Han Solo got locked up in carbonite, but there's no real carbonite. But anyway, look at carbonate. What if you tacked on a hydrogen of carbonate? Hydrogen carbonate. Is this impossible then? It's not impossible to learn these. Now, here's one that I hate, and they should have slapped somebody in the face, and they said, how dare you name those? And you know what they did? They named a polyatomic ion that ended in IDE. Somebody should have been slapped. Because what does normally IDE mean? Like if I go NaCl, sodium chloride, it means there's only 2 elements. But what is this called? Sodium hydroxide. It ends in "ide," but it has more than 2. See? They should have slapped him. They could have called it hydroxate, but they didn't. And they can't change it now. So I always memorize these two together because they're the two that have the stupid names. Hydroxide and cyanide. And that's how I memorize those. Now that is not all of them, but that is a large number of them. You get that? All right, so here's what we do. Let's pretend that today's a quiz day. All you really want to know is, this is pre-quiz day. How many of these do you not know? And that's the ones you have to study. All right, so without looking, be honest, okay? Without looking, I'll go around the room. We'll start with Hayden. Without looking, Hayden, if you know any of these, do you know any of them, tell me what charge and then tell me how to write it. All right, go. Without looking.
-3.
All right, what do you have?
As a phosphite.
And how do you write that?
B8.
Everybody, wait, everybody listen. All right, you're not sure, are you? Do you have another one you might be sure of? It's not pH. Okay, do you have another one? Okay, we're gonna skip. All right, give me any of them you know, any of them.
Me?
Now, you know the lesson we just had, that little small lesson, did that not help you at all?
I just got
Okay, all right, let's go. Next person.
Acetate, -1.
What is it?
-1 charge.
Acetate. Okay, now acetate is a weird one. What is it?
C2H3O2.
How did you memorize that? And here's what I did. When I was in high school and in college, I could not memorize acetate. And I should have worked harder at it, but I had this stupid little song. It's a 3-note song. Watch. I went CHO and I went 2, 3, 2. See? 2, 3, 2. I still do. I do it in my mind. I don't do it out loud. Okay, acetate, and it has a -1 charge, right? All right. You know any of these?
PO to the fourth is phosphate.
All right. What is it?
PO to the
PO what?
fourth.
And -3 charge. All right. Phosphate. All right. Go around.
Phosphate.
Okay.
PO to the third.
PO3. What's the charge?
-3.
Yes. All right. Do you know any of them, Rachel?
Sulfite.
What charge?
-2.
And what? How do you say it? It's -2. Yes.
SO3.
SO what?
3.
And -2 charge, right? Okay. And you know any of them?
Nitrate is NO3 and it's -1.
Since I already gave you that, give me another one.
NH4 is +1, that's amazing.
Oh, all right. All right. You know any of them?
Sulfate, SO4, and -2.
Isn't that nice? Somebody else did sulfite, so you said, I'll do sulfate then. All right, Ben. Okay, that's fine. All right, Gabe.
Carbonate,
All right.
CO3, and then -2.
Yes. Next.
Chlorate, CLO,
What charge?
chlorate or actually it's chloride.
Chlorate?
CLO, chloride number next.
Chlorite?
Yeah, CLO, 2.
What's the charge? -1? All right, J3. Oh, what's that one? And that's a stupid name one. All right, we're going back up to Hayden now.
-1 charge, nitrate, and 2 -1.
Next. That's all right. Next. Next. Any of them? Hayden.
-1 charge, permanganate,
Ooh, hard. You got 2 hard ones. What's a permanganate?
NO4.
It has manganese in it, doesn't it? Wow. You picked, to me, when we play a game, save those because a lot of people won't know those, okay? So if we're playing a game, you're trying to win it, they won't know those. Those are the hard ones. All right, what's another one?
CN to the -1 cyanide.
Which one?
CN
What's that called?
cyanide.
Yes, next?
I don't know.
Okay. Anybody? You got one? Got one?
Chromate.
All right.
Charge CrO4.
Yes.
HCO3.
What charge?
Oh, +1. HCO3 is hydrogen carbonate.
All right. Since that was carbonate, that would be hydrogen carbonate, wouldn't it? Next.
Hydroxide.
All right, we have hydroxide.
OH.
Which one? We have hydroxide.
Chloride.
All right,
Chloride.
chlorite. How you do, we have chlorite.
Perchlorate.
Perchlorate.
Yes.
Wow, how's that one?
CIO.
Cl.
CLO. 4.
All right, it's even higher than chlorate in oxygen. All right, Ben, you got one?
Yeah.
What charge?
Chloride.
We have chlorite.
Well, I called that one.
Okay. All right, Gabe.
Silicate.
Oh, that's one is bonus. What's the charge on silicate?
-2.
That's what?
SiO3.
All right, that's a hard one. Next one.
Chlorate. CLO.
All right. J3. Somebody did do sulfate and sulfite, but you know what they didn't do? They didn't tack on a hydrogen. What do you got? What if I tack on a hydrogen on top of sulfate? So you just take sulfate, put a hydrogen in front of it. If sulfate's -2, then hydrogen sulfate's -1. All right, Hayden, back to you.
Hydrogen sulfide, HSO3,
Now you're catching on.
-1.
You don't know one yet?
-2 charge, hydrogen phosphate,
Okay.
and then, 4.
Okay, so if phosphate was -3 charge, this is going to be -2 hydrogen phosphate. All right, got one, Hayden?
-2 dichromate.
Wow, another hard one.
CR07.
CR what?
07.
Yeah, but how many chromiums? And they're going to have 2 chromiums because dichromate.
Oh yeah.
CR2, 07. All right, anybody else?
I got one.
Nitrate.
We have nitrate. Wait a minute. We have nitrite. We have nitrate. All right, what do you think? Anybody? Yes.
CLO, -1, hypochlorite.
Chloride, yes. It's even smaller than chloride, the number of oxygens, right? All right. Now, do you understand that it is doable? It is doable. Now, I want to show you a couple games that I'd like you to play. One of the games would be like this. You get 3 people at a table, and I want you to play these games tomorrow. You get 3 people at a table, and you go like this. You put +1, -1, -2, -3. Now you put that on a piece of paper, and then you have 3 people. Now one person has the answer sheet. Everybody see this? One person is going to have this in front of them, and they're the moderator. So let's say it's Aiden versus Charlotte. Okay?
Oh,
Let's play a game, okay?
you can't see.
All right, I'll get there. We'll get there. I'm going to show you how to play it, and we're going to actually play one, all right? All right, everybody look up here. Look up here. Up here. All right, they're going to actually play the game. Tomorrow, you're going to play the game with somebody else, all right? Get 3 people. I'm the judge. You guys are playing against each other. Ready? Now, what you do is, without looking, go ahead and turn those upside down. All right, ready? We play a game. Now, what you do is you take your pen, you take your pencil, pretend like you're up here, and then pick one, and I'll write for you, okay? All right, what do you want? Pick one.
+1.
All right, what is it?
NH4.
Now, what he's doing is, that was good strategy because he's going to get that out of the way. Now, it's Charlotte's turn. If Charlotte can also put one, we keep going back and forth until somebody can't do it. Now, can I tell you why this game works? Because you'll get mad when somebody beats you the first time, and in between games, you get a look at this for about a minute, and then you play the next game. And you'll get mad when somebody gets beat, and you'll say, I should, and you'll try to remember everyone that's done, and that really works. So, all right, give me one.
-3 PO3.
Minus what?
-3 PO3 phosphate.
PO what?
3
And what's the name?
phosphate.
What?
Phosphate.
Okay, now, as a moderator, I'd say wrong because this is phosphite. Now, so what we do is, in that case, the game's over, and then you win. Okay, now, she's mad because she said, we play again. So what happens is, whoever won the game, I need everybody to listen, okay, because I really need to figure out how to do these games tomorrow. If you won, you become the moderator, and now it's me versus Charlotte. Okay? And that's how we play the game. So you play that game, and it really makes you better and better and better. Now, if you don't want to waste pieces of paper, I do have whiteboards back there, don't I? So tomorrow, if you want to get a whiteboard and do this, you don't have to waste pieces of paper. That's one game that I want everybody to play tomorrow and play it several times. The game's not very fun at the beginning because nobody knows it. And then they check, and then the game gets bigger and better and better. And all of a sudden, at the end, you'll see 20 of them. 20 of these will be up here, and before you declare a winner. All right, that's game number 1. Let me show you game number 2. And I'm gonna have, in this case, I'm going to have some volunteers, and we're gonna go, U4. U4, we're gonna be in the game. So what we're gonna do is, come over here, come over here. Everybody else get up out of your seats and come back here. Okay. Now. Watch what happens. You guys move down just a little bit that way, okay? Now, see these cards? I have two sets of these cards. And so you can have two of these games going on, and you can also play the other game. So what I'm gonna do is make sure that they're all in the right order. See how they're in the right order? All right. So, here's how we play the game. Ready? A little bit. Now, I don't want them to see the answer, do I? This is important. I can see the answer, but they can't. So now what we do is, I'm gonna put this up there, and there are two ways to play this game. One of them is the nice game where you can answer as many times as you want until somebody gets it right. Actually, no, not try, see? And whoever gets this card. Or you can play the cutthroat kind, meaning you get one guess. If you guess wrong, you can't say anything else. So we'll play the nice game. How about that? Ready? Are you ready? Okay. You could, but I have to make sure you say the right answer. Are you ready? See, I know the answer, don't I? Fluoride.
Fluoride.
Say
Carbonate. Carbonate.
Nobody gets it. That's the only answer. Cyanide. And I put it back in the thing. Ready?
Oh, that's
Ready?
No, that's
Play. This is called chlorine. This one has two hydrogens, so it's dihydrogen phosphate. Hypo. This one is hydrogen carbonate. There's no chlorine in it. It can't be hypochlorite. It's not di, it's not hydrogen. What? Not hyper. Hydrogen phosphate.
Hydrogen sulfate. Nitrogen monoxide.
No, these are not compounds.
Nitrite. Phosphite. Sulfate. Dihydrogen.
Oh, it wasn't this one.
What?
It wasn't this one.
Okay, all right. All right. Ready? All right, everybody back over here. Everybody back over here. You're gonna watch this play. Hey, this way. Now tomorrow, you can play against each other. You can challenge somebody on this game. Okay, but the main thing is whoever's here, probably, right? All right. Play one. Are you sure? Okay, everybody ready? All right, listen carefully. Listen carefully. You guys do this stuff. No chlorine in it. Ready?
Hello. Yes, ma'am. Hey, you have to go to the office after this class.
Okay, good.
Just trying to run them out.
Alright, everybody have a seat. Everybody have a seat. Good time to go. Good time to go. Alright, tomorrow, we're going to play these
I
games.
just said I already played.
And, we're only gonna be staying for the weekend.
We're making that. Hey, but she left.
She has a dislocated shoulder. Shut up. No, no, she's got a dislocated shoulder. I'm literally dislocated.
Who would do it? Let's call it.
find somebody?
Not yet, this is my planning period, so
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna try this period.
All right. Did you read your email?
I haven't since lunch, I guess, but.
Okay, no. We're talking. I don't know, I'd like to respond to this. Please take some time either today or tomorrow to write an email to your students who are learning remotely. I'm just feeling already very overwhelmed, and now,
What am I supposed to tell them though? I mean, like,
let them know what you are going to be doing in each class,
gotta turn this off. Oh, I see.
up to exam.